Cleopatra. The name itself conjures a world of power, passion, political intrigue. She was the last pharaoh of Egypt, a ruler who commanded armies, charmed Roman generals, and held the fate of an ancient civilization in her hands. Her life was a spectacle played out on the grand stage of the Mediterranean world. She was a scholar, a linguist, a mother, a goddess in the eyes of her people. Yet for all the dazzling light her life cast upon history, her death is shrouded in shadow. We know the story, or at least the one that has been told for 2,000 years. The asp, the final act of defiance against a conquering Rome. But what happened next? Where was this legendary queen laid to rest? This is one of history's greatest unsolved mysteries. Her tomb has become a legend in its own right, a lost treasure that tantalizes archaeologists and historians alike. It is a secret kept for over 2 millennia, a final silent act of power from a queen who refused to be forgotten. The search for her final resting place is more than a hunt for gold or artifacts. It is a quest to find the woman behind the myth. To begin the hunt for Cleopatra's tomb, we must first listen to the whispers of the past. The ancient writers, historians who were closer to her time, are our primary guides. Authors like Plutarch and Cassius Dio, writing a century or more after her death, provide us with the most detailed accounts we have. They paint a picture of a grand and beautiful monument, a tomb fit for a queen. Plutarch tells us that Octavian, the man who defeated her and would become the Emperor Augustus, visited the tomb after her death. He saw Cleopatra and Antony lying side by side, a final, poignant image of their doomed love affair. He admired their monument, a testament to their status even in defeat. These texts offer tantalizing clues. They describe a tomb located near a temple of Isis, the powerful Egyptian goddess with whom Cleopatra closely identified herself. She wasn't just a queen, she was seen as the living embodiment of Isis on earth. It makes perfect sense that her eternal resting place would be within a sacred precinct dedicated to her patron deity. Hoping to find the place where the whispers fall silent and the truth is finally revealed. One of the most dramatic theories about Cleopatra's lost tomb, not into the desert but beneath the waves. The ancient city of Alexandria, the jewel of the Mediterranean, was a coastal metropolis vulnerable to the power of the sea. Over the centuries, devastating earthquakes, tsunamis caused large parts of the royal quarter to collapse and sink into the harbor. This is the area where Cleopatra lived, where she ruled, and almost certainly where she was buried. Could her magnificent mausoleum now lie in a watery grave covered by sand, covered by sea life just beyond the modern coastline? In recent decades, underwater archaeology has opened this lost world. Marine archaeologists, led by Frank Gaudio, have mapped Alexandria's eastern harbor. Fallen columns, giant stone sphinxes, foundations of ancient buildings. Adds romance and mystery, her secrets kept by the sea. While some look beneath the waves, another compelling search has taken archaeologists 30 miles west of Alexandria into the wind-swept desert. Here, overlooking the Mediterranean, lie the ruins of an ancient temple complex called Taposiris Magna. The name means Great Tomb of Osiris, and for over a decade this site has been the focus of an intense investigation led by archaeologist Dr. Kathleen Martinez. She believes this temple, not a tomb in Alexandria, is the most likely location for the final resting place of Cleopatra and Mark Antony. Her theory presents a radical departure from the traditional search, but it is one grounded in compelling logic and tantalizing clues. Dr. Martinez's argument begins with Cleopatra's deep religious convictions. As the new Isis, her connection to the goddess was central to her identity and her rule. The Osiris myth, which tells the story of Isis finding and reassembling the scattered body of her murdered husband Osiris, was fundamental to Egyptian belief. Martinez suggests that Cleopatra, in her final days, would have wanted her burial to ritually echo this powerful myth. By being buried with Antony at a temple dedicated to Osiris, she would be symbolically reenacting the story of Isis and Osiris for eternity. Taposiris Magna, a major center for the cult of Osiris, provides the perfect setting for such a grand theological statement, that within this sacred landscape they will find the one tomb that has been sealed for 2,000 years. Searching for a lost tomb is honestly a masterful blend of ancient wisdom and modern science. It's a slow, methodical process that really requires immense patience and a detective's eye for detail. The modern archaeologist toolkit is far more advanced than the simple picks and brushes of, well, a century ago. Today, the quest begins not with a shovel, but with satellites. High-resolution satellite imagery allows researchers to survey vast landscapes from above, spotting subtle variations in the ground that might, indicate buried structures. These digital maps can reveal the faint outlines of ancient walls, roads, or enclosures, things that are completely invisible to the naked eye on the ground. Once a promising area is identified, the real high-tech investigation begins. The key is to see beneath the sand without disturbing it. Archaeologists employ a range of geophysical survey techniques to do just this. Ground-penetrating radar, or GPR, is one of the most crucial tools, all focused on solving one of history's most captivating puzzles. Why has Cleopatra's tomb remained hidden for so long? Well, the answer lies in the formidable forces of nature and time that have worked to conceal it. The very landscape of Egypt is a character in this story. Imagine the desert winds, a constant sighing presence. Wind blows sand off dune crests, sandstorms and migrating dunes, burying ancient cities and temples. A monument that was once prominent could, over centuries, disappear completely from view, its location lost to memory as the topography around it is reshaped. The desert both preserves and conceals, creating a vast, sandy blanket that hides the secrets of the past. Then there is the human element. History, as we know, is not a gentle process. Cleopatra's death marked a violent transition of power. In the centuries that followed, Egypt was rocked by religious conflict. The rise of Christianity, and later Islam, saw the old pagan temples fall into disuse. Somewhere, perhaps just beneath the surface, the last queen of Egypt is waiting. To understand the search for Cleopatra's tomb, one must first understand her city. Alexandria was not just any city, it was the intellectual, cultural, economic capital of the Hellenistic world, founded by Alexander the Great, designed as a cosmopolitan paradise, a bridge between East and West. By Cleopatra's time, it was a metropolis of staggering wealth and architectural splendor. Wide avenues with marble colonnades, lush palace gardens by the Mediterranean, the Pharos lighthouse towering over the harbor ships guided into a bustling port. Cleopatra inherited this city and played her dramatic life upon its stage. The Brucheion, a city within a city, vast palaces, temples, gardens. She entertained Julius Caesar, she entertained Mark Antony, dazzling them with courtly wealth and sophistication. A dazzling beacon whose brightness drew the forces that doomed it, remains the final monument to that lost golden age. The end came swiftly. The story of Cleopatra's final days is a tragedy of Shakespearean proportions, a tale of love, hubris, devastating defeat. After years ruling the Eastern Mediterranean with Mark Antony, their combined power threatened Octavian in Rome. The final confrontation was inevitable. 31 BC, the naval battle of Actium off Greece, Antony and Cleopatra's fleets were crushed by Agrippa. The power couple fled to Alexandria, their dreams of an Eastern empire shattered. The year that followed, dread and desperation, trapped in Alexandria, awaiting Octavian's legions. Antony sank into deep depression. Cleopatra methodically prepared for the end. She likely finalized plans for their joint tomb, moving immense treasures into it. She experimented with poisons, testing lethality and speed on prisoners, searching for a painless death. According to Plutarch, they formed the Synapothenomenoi, companions in death, indulging in lavish banquets and defiant parties. August 30 BC, Octavian's army at Alexandria's gates, the final act began and sealed her legend for eternity. The discovery of Cleopatra's tomb would be more than just the greatest archaeological find of the 21st century. It would be a moment that redefines our connection to the ancient world. Finding her final resting place would be the archaeological equivalent of finding a new gospel. It would be a direct physical link to one of history's most compelling figures, mythologized, romanticized, vilified. Her tomb would be a time capsule. It could sweep away centuries of Roman propaganda and biased histories. It could reveal how she saw herself and how she wanted to be remembered by her own people. Imagine the treasures that might lie within: gold, jewels, artifacts of immense historical importance, personal items, furniture, clothing, inscriptions, texts, papyri. A funerary text commissioned by Cleopatra would be a priceless document. It could detail her accomplishments, her religious beliefs, her version of the political events that led to her downfall. Her autobiography, written in stone, intended for eternity. It would reverberate across the globe, capture the public imagination. The sand, the sea, the stone have kept her secret well.